Hi there. I was just talking to a person in the train today, and she works at a big bank in Holland, and she was on the trading desk. I said, "Well, do they still do that?" Yeah, yeah, we still do that uh, for currencies. That's what she did, and she said that she was trying to take out the errors. Sometimes it happens that people order too much or too little money, and she could make a little bit more sense out of it. Yeah, yeah, right. You cannot do that digitally. Of course you can. But she told me something interesting, and that is that they also have gold, and then giraal gold, which is a Dutch term for paper gold. Basically, giraal means that you have an account, a gold account. But she says said very explicitly that it doesn't give any promise that you ever get real gold. Wow. I thought, well, of course I knew that a little bit, but it's so explicit, it's so clear that you will never receive physical gold for your money in your account. You will only have the same type of effect of the numbers in your account as as if you would have physical gold and were able to trade it at the moment that it was necessary. But of course this means that as long as banks are able to basically fix these numbers and make sure that if the gold price goes up 10%, that they can give you 10% more euros. And if it goes down 10%, of course they will take 10% of the euros they basically got from you when you bought the gold, the physical, the giraal gold. As long as they can keep up that game, then there's no way that the gold price can actually escape or go anywhere. And I asked her, so I said, okay, so what do you base the gold price on? Yeah, well, it's of course it's fixed. It's a price that is made by the market. You see, that's why banks hire people that have a IQ of in a certain range, so they will never figure out that what they're saying and what they're doing makes no sense at all. But so of course you cannot fix a price if the gold is not physical, because it's not being actually traded by anybody that uses it. It doesn't have any utility to anybody. It doesn't have any meaning to anybody. It cannot be taken to a castle in Persia or to not be buried in the ground or turned into jewels or whatever. It has no meaning. It's not something that has any function in the real economy. So it has no price. It doesn't really exist actually. But there's a paradox there, because as long as this type of gold has an existence and has respect, then then of course it's impossible for real gold to distinguish itself from this type of gold and have a function. And so the point of buying real gold can only be achieved if this system of fake gold, of non-existent gold or imaginary gold, and of course yes, there's a big reserve somewhere and you're actually buying into that, but you know that whole story might even hold true, but only as long as gold is uninteresting. Once gold gets really interesting and you are interested in it and you had your giraal gold and you want to have it, they say, oh no, it's stored here, you cannot have it. Yeah, but we have 50 million in gold on this account. Yeah, but that's our physical gold. A little bit MF Global, you know. It's just, you gave it to us to care for it. So we're caring for it. It's ours now. You made a mistake in trusting anybody else with your stuff. But as long as that system works, there's no escape from it, because if the price is determined by that type of gold, you can print more of it. And if it's if it's only on the COMEX, that's one thing. You can crash JP Morgan, buy silver, try to push them out of the COMEX, try to get the physical reserves out of the COMEX. But it's in Europe, it's in Holland. It's everywhere. Everywhere are these markets where fake gold, non-existent gold, is traded alongside physical gold. And that's not very good news. I think that one of the things that is very important to do is to point out whether a market is real or not. And I made a video a long time ago, and I keep saying long time ago, but I do this for a couple of years now. And I think a year or something like that, that you basically should have for every market of gold, every place where you can basically get your money to and have gold, giraal, gartaal, or whatever, physical, you should have an exchange rate which says how much gold you're really buying. So that if you are buying COMEX gold, your dollar is worth about 11 times as much or 100 times as much as it would be at the Deutsche Bank in Rotterdam, where you get actual physical gold, which they hold in their vaults, and they can show you. You say, okay, give me the bar, and they give you the bar. Or gold money, which would be like have a rate of 100%. So that if you basically it should be something like that, and then that would mean that gold from the COMEX is worth less than gold actually per ounce would be worth less. It's simply not pure gold. It's simply it's mixed with paper. Gold with paper. You cannot mix those two things because the paper will burn. But you can try, and they actually try very hard at the COMEX and the LM, London Bullion Market Exchange or Association, all these places. And only then, if you start doing that, and if you basically put numbers on every market and say, okay, this market is about, it's not pure. This is not a pure market. It's about 5% pure, or 1% pure, or 1 promille pure, or 1 pro-zillion pure. It's not pure. It's zero. This market is invalid. If you buy gold there, you're just bringing your money somewhere, where somebody can use inflation and pay you back, or lend money at zero interest or negative interest rates, or they take your money while you have loaned it to them because you have negative interest rates, and pay you, the gold owner, the paper gold owner, with that money, which is worth less once you get it. So really you don't achieve anything. That would be good. So this is quite a to-the-point video, I guess, and I'll try to find this this other video, which is quite old, about the market spot. I'm quite tired, so I think I'll just wait a little bit, drink a cup of tea first, and then try to do that. Thanks for listening.